Fear of the Lord is the beginning of the knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Delving into the text, fear of the Lord, there are two key words here, fear and Lord. What does fear means? Think of it like this. Fear for Lord actually can only start when God has shown us His love. Now in His love, what you will see is that it is incredibly pure, powerful like mountain, and since it is as large as mountain, you will also understand how small you are, as it is incredibly pure. It will also show you all the defects you have, now the natural tendency of every human who has felt this love, that you have a very strong connection, faith, love, or relationship, and this is a connection of strength in which you sort of end up becoming a man who has a mountain in his life. You have very a firm belief that He will never forsake you. You also have the favor that whatever problems that come your way, you have faith that God is seeing everything, and no matter how bad the situation gets, He is standing firmly behind us. We will walk out of any problem that we are facing. Now the thing that you need realize, that when through God's love is felt, you feel your own shortcomings too. What we may feel is that we are very bad, and how are we worthy of God's love? From this feeling you will have fear of Lord, and is because of this fear what you will do is that you will see to it that you don't commit the bad action which God doesn't like. So this kind of a fear is positive fear which will end up making you into a better human being. As you now know the problems that you have, and you have a connection with God which is like a mountain standing behind you, and no problem whatsoever is too big for this mountain. One more example of fear is like this. In old time, whenever there was a marriage, women will leave their parent house and go start living in husband's house. Now they say that in order to adapt to new life, she will end up making changes in herself, changes according to how her husband wants her to be. Now, if these women's sacrifices are enough, she will end up gaining the love of her husband, which will make sure that she lives a life of bliss with her husband from now onwards. What this story is trying to describe is that, like behind God fear, reason for fear is wisdom itself, as now you know your shortcoming, and like this wife once have her husband love, all she had to do was make changes in herself. In return for these sacrifices, she gains the very epitome of love from her husband. Now this same principle can be used to deepen your relationship with God. The more love you gain, you will have greater connection, greater faith, greater love, and a much better relationship with God. Now the question arises, why do we need to deepen our relationship with God? It is sort of like, although God is standing behind you as a mountain, but still you feel unworthy of His love. Now this unworthiness, just like that fear, will end up making you motivated to make a change in yourself, so it is a positive thing. Now this will also prove one of the mighty qualities of God. Now, even if fear and unworthiness are bad qualities, when you connect these qualities God, they end up becoming good qualities, or even great qualities. Another benefit of this is that fear of God is polar opposite of anger, and unworthiness is opposite of ego itself, which are two very big problems that we have in our brain. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. In spirituality, saints have said that there are two types of people. First type are people who followers of their brain, and second type are followers of their Master Jesus Christ. Now going from above explanation, people who follow their brain, they end up making the fool category. People who believe in the wisdom without asking any question are people who will, instead of just having this wisdom and storing it into the brain, and they will also use it to make their life better. Now, these people who not only have wisdom now in their brain, but are also using it, will form the category of people who are followers of Jesus Christ. To explain better, it is sort of like a teacher-student relationship, in which teacher will teach the wisdom and student who ends up learning it, believing it, and then practically practice it. Then through his effort he ends becoming the favorite student of their master, and completes the work that has been given to him, will have the eternal favor of his master Jesus Christ. Now to explain the kind of people who follow their brain primary function is to think, and after thinking we have two options if your brain allowed to do the work, or it is that we have a million reasons not to do this work. To explain better, think of it like going to a gym. We know that if we go regularly to gym for 7 years, there is no physique in the world that you cannot make. But how many people are dedicated enough, disciplined enough, have the patience, or simply actually have the strength to do all that hard work? So the point is that brains can give you a million reasons to not to do it, but that will not change the truth. If you put enough effort and time behind anything, success will always come your way. So why is it that Jesus is calling these people as fools? It is like a classroom is filled with teacher and students. To the diligent students, teacher will have no need to say anything. It is only to the students who will not listen to him or follow his instructions. At that time, in teacher's eyes, they are sort of like fools. Now to explain further what is the origin of wisdom, it is the love of God, which is magnificent, clean and pure, and sort of has mirror properties. What does having mirror properties mean? It is like when you in the presence of the greatest man on earth, your brain will automatically sense his qualities, reveal the qualities that we don't have, and this love being God love end up explaining to you that your soul of the very same essence also has these very same qualities, but as we know, the owner of this body right now is brain, and so we have brain qualities which are completely opposite of the qualities that God has. Like, for example, the brain qualities are like desires, anger, greed, lust, ego, hatred, jealousy, envy, gluttony, always looking for an easy way out, indecisive, can give you a million reasons for not to do a work. Now, what sort of qualities does Jesus has? They are like they have endless amount of love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness. Truthful, they don't have desires, they are actually the grandeur of desires. But the condition is that if you ask for desires, that will take you close to God. So you get the point that brain on its own is single-pointed, like selfish, like his desires. How can he do that to me, your anger? All that money is mine. Lust is like trying to make the other's person yours. Ego main point is also I, me, mine, and myself. And in case of love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, truthful. Now the four properties except for truth, these are all qualities of a man which has a very big heart. As we love from our heart, kindness, compassion, and forgiveness are for people who have very big hearts. As for truthful property, this is a God-divine property, as only God and Jesus have it, or the people whom God wants to grant this quality. This quality's first benefit is that it only talks about God. As God is the only truth in this world, now is the reason behind this, because God is eternal, and will not change with time. So the point is that anything which changes with time cannot have a constant answer. It is always changing. So how can anything is changing so much ever hope to become a truth? So basically they are also telling that everything in this cosmos is also a lie, because they are ever changing and will die someday, whether it is we humans or it is even sun and moon.